Welcome to Nepal Images. My name is Scott McLennan. I've been photographing in Nepal now for nearly 20 years. One of the things that draws me back time and time again to take more photographs is the ethnicity differences that you'll see throughout the country. There's over 100 different ethnic groups that live in Nepal. Each group has its own unique costumes, its own customs. Most of them have their own languages, and many of them look different as you move from one group to another. So you've got this endless variety of faces and of looks. And I hate to use the word tapestry because I think that's a little bit of an overused word. But it really is a tapestry of human faces and human looks and costumes and languages. And it's just fascinating to me as a photographer to go around the country and take pictures of people and see all of these differences that take place there. And today we're going to take a look in part 1 of episode 3 at some of the faces there are in Nepal and how people look and how they dress. Wherever possible, I'll try to comment on the ethnicity of a person or their costume or the location where the photo was taken. But in many cases, I can't recognize the differences in one ethnic group or another, so I'm not going to be able to point that out to you. With over 100 ethnic groups, it's just too complicated to figure out what particular ethnic group any person might belong to. There's a few that I know very well because I spent a lot of time amongst those ethnic groups, like the Tamang, for instance. Spent many years working amongst the Tamang, so I will recognize them and I'll point them out to you. I hope you enjoyed this first part of this. I have so many of these photos of such unique and beautiful people that I've had to split this into a 2-part series for you. I won't give you too many photos at once. I don't want this to drag on and be boring, but I think you're going to find it fascinating, especially you photographers out there. Pay attention, take a look. I think you're going to find really good reason to come to Nepal with your camera. Okay, well that's it for the introduction. Let's get on to looking at some of the photos today and meeting some of the people that you could be meeting if you were in Nepal. Thank you. Let's begin this journey where I began my first visit to Nepal, which is in the Rua District. It sits way on the northern border, right up against what's now called the Tibetan Autonomous Region. It's home to Langtang National Park, the Gosai Kun Trek, and the Tamang Heritage Trail Trek. I first visited there in about 2001, I think it was. And at that time, the Civil War, which raged from 1996 until 2006, was still going on. So there were really no tourists around in the district at that time. I think I was the only foreigner perhaps out there at all. But I had the opportunity to visit some of the villages out there, Gatlang, Golzong, Chilimi, and to photograph some of the people that lived in the villages and the unique costumes that they wear and their unique lifestyle. And so I hope you're going to enjoy those pictures from out in the Rua District. So let's start our tour of this part of the country. In the south. In the south, we have the first sizable town you come to is called Kalikistan. This photo was taken in front of the Kalika Community Hospital, as it was called at the time. And this kind of demonstrates the ethnic mix of the district. However, as you move further to the north, you'll find more and more Tamang people and less of a mix of ethnicities. The photo of this gentleman was taken in front of the community center in the village of Gatlang, which is way to the far north, very close to the border with the Tibetan Autonomous Region. Well, I'm fairly certain I took this photo in the village of Tuman, which is also in the northern part of Rua. This Tamang woman kind of represents the quintessential look with the large earrings, the classic Tamang hat, and this kind of represents what the people out there look like overall. This photo was taken at Kalika Community Hospital during a medical camp we had there years ago. I've always liked this photo because it looks like there's so much care that the father has for his child. Well, this will be our last photo from out in Rua District. This one has a pretty funny story behind it. We were driving out to that district for a medical camp, and we stopped in this little town along the way to get some refreshments. And that's when I spotted this young girl. Now, this was during what's called Holi, which is a celebration of the triumph of good over evil. And the traditions there are you either get covered with colors or you get splashed with a water balloon or some other form of water. So just as I go to take this young girl's photo, she lets loose with that water balloon in the direction of me and almost takes out my camera in the process. I took this photo in a Chepang village in the Chitwan district of Nepal. The Chepang are one of the poorest ethnic groups in Nepal and have been largely hunter-gatherers in the forests for many years. This photo was taken in the same Chepang village as the previous one. This young woman had come in to attend a medical camp which my nonprofit organization, the Global Mountain Fund, was hosting at that time in her village. This photo was taken in the Terai region of Nepal, very close to the India border. I took the photo of this handsome young man in a Momo shop in Dading Basi, which is located in the Dading district of Nepal. This photo is also from the Dading district, but a different part of the Dading district. This photograph was taken in a village called Goganpani, and it was taken in front of the community school there in Goganpani. Since this is located very near to her farm, Nepal, I've seen these boys many, many times over the years. Well, this is going to be our last photo for episode 1. This photo was taken in the village of Manku Haltam. Manku is where her farm is located. This is the father of a good friend who lives in Madhav Basi, another nearby community. And it was taken on the front porch of another friend who lives there in Haltam. I just find him to be such a fascinating person and a really nice guy as well. Well, that's it for episode 3, part 1, called The Many Faces of Nepal. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. I mean, it brought back a lot of fond memories for me of adventures I've had in the country. And I'm looking forward to figuring out which photos I'm going to share with you for part 2, because I've still got a lot of fascinating photos left to share. I hope you'll like this video, share it around the internet with your friends, and be sure to stay tuned for episode 3, part 2, which will be coming up in a few weeks. In the meantime, namaste. You have a wonderful day.